We stand tall, words of blades that never fall, debate the warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. In the ring we stand tall, words of blades that never fall, debate like warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. Through the noise we cut clean, spirited mind sharp and keen. With a spark that lights the night, join us in this epic fight. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts clean. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena, there's no chance to escape the fight by lore. Dive in deep and search for more. From heartfelt talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts clean. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena, there's no chance to escape the fight by lore. Dive in deep and search for more. In the ring we stand tall, words are blades that never fall. Debate like warriors brave, every thought we give and save. Through the noise we cut clean, spirited minds sharp and keen. With a spark that lights the night, join us in this epic fight. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts gleam. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena there's no chance to escape the vibrant lore. Dive in deep and search for more. From heartfelt talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts gleam. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Be heard. Will be heard. Will be heard. Will be heard.
Spartans! What is your profession?
What is going on, everybody? We're back at it with another stream, another live. Today's been an interesting day, but before we get into how my day was, we gotta do it like I always do. Like, guys, welcome to the Sparta HQ Network. I am the Ghost of Sparta. I am also known as Peter. Please like, share, and subscribe the stream. Share, spread the wealth. Today's been an interesting day. It's kind of funny we would say that today because today started like a normal other day. You know what I hate the most? The most I hate when your day starts so good and then gets worse and worse and worse. But the worst part is, as your day is almost winding down, I had about maybe I was already technically done. I was just finishing up my, my paperwork, all of myself, cleaning, and I dropped aluminum foil on my hand. And if you guys who are new to the stream, I am a chef. So as I'm putting it on top, it slips out of my hand. It goes straight down and went, whoa. Let's say me leaving on time to make sure I'm on time, shower and everything, when out the went whoop out the door. Yeah. Um it's funny how things happen sometimes. And I think it's ironic that my hand got fucked up today. And we have a show called, and I quote, uh, from, yeah, here it is: meaning, exploration, or purpose of life. I know I'm paraphrasing what I put in there, but you get the idea. So it's funny because 1 minute it's everything's fine. Hey, Mariana, what is going on? 1 minute life is fine, and next thing you know, this happens. Or you get kicked in the balls. But we always ask each other, everybody I know, what is the meaning? What is the purpose? And that is the hardest part about doing what we do sometimes. And how do we do it? How do we find the purpose, your goal, your end game? That is the biggest part. I personally believe that there's two routes you get put in front of you. God put two routes, the left and right. Easy, hard. You go with the easy route, you got everything you wanted, but you really haven't earned it, and you don't have any pride behind it. It's not, oh, that's it. All right. Then the other side is it's going to be harder, but you got to earn everything. But there's more reward towards the end of the road. I'll take the hard road any day of the week. And that is part of it. Part of doing what we do is taking the hard route, doing the one, discovering what makes you who you are. And the question I've been asking myself, and people have been asking, I know, if you're religious and God knows the route we're taking around, what's the point? I don't think he knows the route we're taking. I think he's gonna lay paths for us. And it's up to us to take the right path. This is what Mariana has to say really fast. Sometimes I don't know what is my purpose. What is God's plan for me? You know, Mariana, I'm gonna make an exception to my rule tonight. I'm gonna drop the link in. I don't usually drop it on Thursdays. I want you to jump on. And yes, your phone will work. Don't worry. I know what you're gonna tell me. keep your camera off. You're allowed. Just put your name Mariana in there so I know who you are. So our journey is unique to each person, and each person has their own destiny and journey to accomplish. Their Mount Olympus. What is your Mount Olympus? I always say that, but I always say to you guys too, we're always gonna fall down. But there's a difference about us. We're not gonna fall forward. Excuse me, we're not gonna fall backwards. We're gonna fall forward. So as we're going down the hill, we'll see our mistakes. So when we go back to the hill up the second time, we're not gonna make the same mistakes. That's different about us. We land on our feet, not on our backs. That's what makes us as Spartans, as human beings, as my friends, as my followers, as my people, whatever you want to call yourselves, as my groupies. I I got corny jokes. I know. You guys we do things a certain way. We always do it a different way. And that's different about us versus everybody else. We will accomplish this a different route. We will always have each other's back. All right, Mariana. So the only thing I'm gonna say, hurry up. But that is the purpose of us. I don't believe I'm being on life to make to cook every day. My purpose is to make differences at home. Differences, not home. Differences to people's lives. Make a difference. People always like the talking shit behind our backs, and when I did a show this recently, but I love when we talk shit behind me. You know why? Is because when you talk shit behind my back, that means that it did an impact in your life to the point you cannot stop thinking about me. Your name could be whatever. I'm not gonna make names. So I usually make up some fucking weird names, but tonight I'm not going to. What I will say is we will conquer our goals. We will conquer our mission. We will conquer our steps. So, today's life purposes. Let me ask you a question before we move too forward with this. I want everyone to answer this, please. What does purpose mean to you personally? Let me repeat that. All right, Paul, take your time, my man. Don't really take your time, but I gotta say that's kind of polite thing to do. But yeah. So I want everyone to answer this legitimately. What does purpose mean to you personally? I have my own reason. I'm gonna answer mine towards the end of the show. If you want to put it in the chat, it's up to you. I hope you guys do. So, do you personally? Okay, here's a question I was asked, and it's one of the questions I was going to ask the guys: is do you personally believe the purpose of life is a universal question? The universe knows, or is something that is individually themed? Let's say theme for argument's sake to your DNA. I believe in the second one. I believe the purpose of life is DNA in you. You are you for a reason. You have your purpose. You're going to be a chef and a motivation speaker, for argument's sakes. that is the difference. The difference is you are the person you need to be. Or you could be this great out the box thinker. You could be the next Einstein. You could be anything. The limits are the sky, ours. We all know that. But what is that meaning to you? I'm going to use my priest, Father Casadino. He has impacted so many people's lives because he knows how to talk about the purpose of the Bible, the God. He knows how to preach. I'm not the last person who sit there and tell you I know how to preach, because I don't. Because that's not who I am. But who I am is somebody who tries to make a difference always. I believe making a difference in anybody's lives, and I have made a purpose. For example, this is a great example, actually. When I worked at the prison, I was a kitchen supervisor, and the difference was excuse me. All right, back at it. All right, so I was the kitchen supervisor. So talking to his inmates, and most of these guys, they're not hardcore criminals. They're not. You really want me to preach, Paul? I'm preaching right now, actually. So you owe me $20. That means cash ups in the bottom. Actually, thank you. Anyway, when I was in the correctional facilities, these guys weren't hardcore, man. They haven't killed anybody. Most of them are in there for drug use. Most of them are DWIs. A couple fights here and there. And like they're being most of them are kids. And some of them are kids that never grew up because they didn't have the right role models to get them out of the goddamn fucking hole. But that is my point. My point is, if you knew the person is struggling and you could make the difference, maybe that was your purpose, to make the fucking difference for that person. Get them out of the hole. And I felt like I did make a difference for some of them. I looked at one of them, and I told him, like, he was in there for fighting. And I went to him, like, what'd you learn, bro? I'm like, not much, really. You threw a punch. You lost the fight, obviously, because you're here. And you going to be paying fines and everything else. You don't know. You never know. Next time you could have been even worse. He could have sued you. And now he's sitting behind bars and realizing this one fight could lose his whole life, could lose everything. That is the worst part. And that is the problem. Because our tempers flare. Or we got a man flare. Go ahead, call me a pussy. Call me a bitch. I'm not gonna throw a punch. I could rock your fucking world when I throw it. But the difference about me and you, I'm still gonna walk away with my head high because I have nothing to prove. It makes I laugh when I see these videos online when people are fighting and all this stuff. But this stream is not about fighting; it's about the purpose. Can somebody have a meaning without believing in a high power or religion? Yeah, I think so. Religion should not be something that drives you for a bigger cause. It shouldn't be. It could be a little bit of motivation to make you do better, yes, but it shouldn't be the main motivation. You want to be motivated because you want to be motivated. You need to be motivated. And you have to be motivated. Those three things you need. What motivates Peter? Not Spartan, but Peter. Simple. I want to do better in life. I want to do better than last year and the year before that. I want to do better for next year and the year after that. Keep pushing myself to the next limit. That's a motivation. Let's be honest, guys. What do we work? We work hard to have nice things. That motivates me. I'm like, I want a bigger TV. Yeah, I have an 85 inch. I work for my ass off of that. I want a 100 inch next. Go big or go home, right? So that is my point. That stuff motivates me. I know the material things, but we need material things to survive. Clothes, shoes, hair, not hair. Some people need wigs, so you might need hair. But that is the purpose of why we keep moving. Some people have kids, and that is the purpose of doing better every single year. You should always do better, not backwards, forward. Every single year, do better. You must do better. You have to do better. You need to do better. It's not rocket science. It is what it is. It ain't what it ain't, like they say. We're not trying to invent the wheel, guys. We're not trying to invent the world. We are trying to make better everything. That is the purpose of life, I believe. How impact are you to somebody? I knew you were gonna say that. Hey, some people do want a wig. They like having hair to survive. If you're in Alaska or back in the day, the coat, you needed that warmth. That is made out of hair, fur. Fur is hair. So try me now, Paul. What was I? What drives you individually is something you need to think very carefully. Can you ever feel life the fullest and find the purpose what you're looking for? Here is a song that always kind of makes me think about life. Really? Really, Paul? Moving to warmth climate. You know what I say to that? Get a hat. Let's see what Alicia has to say. So I wrote a big, hey, or a wing, but and make you feel better, and that's what counts. But did it solve what you're looking for at the end of the day? Did it accomplish what you needed? Is it what you want? I'm gonna ask you the same question. Do you know the purpose of your life? Do you know the purpose of what your outcome is? Do you know what you need to be? I'll give you the same offer I told Mariana because I know who you are, Alicia. The link's in the chat. If you like, come up, click it. Camera help you out, but just put your name so I know it's you on. I'm making an exception tonight, and only tonight. So, what was I? Let's see, what was I? Let me find my notes here. the outcome. We all know that in the end of the day, it's two things. Like most Americans say, the two things that we know is positive in life. One is taxes and death. But before we get to the D word, I hate that word more than anything. Is are we ready to? Are we ready to say we we made a difference? Can we sit there and say we did it? I love proving people wrong in life. Always have, always will. Something that I enjoyed. I get a kick out of it. I know it's like saying, Pete, you're fucking sick in the head. Yeah, I might be sick in the head. But I love proving people wrong. I will bust my ass every single day to prove them wrong. That's the funny part. And the funny part is, it happens more often than you think. And I'm cool with that. Because I usually come out victorious. Okay, I am game since I am having a terrible time in life now. Funny. All right, let's get the first person in here and let's get her in here. All right, let's welcome Mariana to the show. Mariana,
Oh,
what's going on?
I'm all right. I just got home from shopping.
What'd you buy me? Anything good?
Uh, Nothing. I
Yeah.
mean,
What you buy me? I got him 6-pack after today. Anyway, all right, Mariana. Question for you. Let's start with the first big one. What is the purpose of life? What does that mean to you and you only?
um, what's the purpose of life? I will say, me personally, I think what God has planned for me, like you, you wake up every day, be
Mm-hmm.
thankful what you have. Thankful that see, another day. Um, um, Me personally, I think it's more like what you do good, good will, come back to you no matter what. I mean, I don't see purpose. I will not say job, but what you do to others, like you help them, guide them, no matter what it is. It could be a relative, a family, a friend. Uh, you know, Tell them don't be hard on yourself. Take it day by day. Don't beat yourself up. It's always another day. Like if sometimes in life it could be a disappointment at times when somebody say no, it's a no, I'm sorry, we're not going to go with it. Let's say if it's a job interview, or it's
Mm-hmm.
let's say if it's something that you want, something to fulfill, could be a number of things, job or a house, whatever the case is. It's I think that's a purpose. Like a purpose, no matter what you do, but of course you have to do good. When you do good, good will come back 10 times. If you do bad, bad will come back 10 times, no matter how you do it in life. That's the way I look at purpose in life. Um, and I always told, I mean, you always have to do good no matter what. Help whatever you can. Um, and let's say sometimes you don't see it, sometimes what is my purpose, but it's you can't question God, but there's a reason for it. I do believe things happen for a reason.
Do
um
you believe he puts past in you, like say, okay, here's option A or option B, or you think he already knows what you're gonna pick up before you even pick it?
um I do believe sometimes, God show you two options. You could either take the easy route
Hmm.
or the difficult route. And sometimes it's better off going with the difficult route because you get a better reward towards the end.
I
Take
agree
it
100%.
easy, an easier route will not get you, oh, this is simple, but what are you going to get out of it? Very simple, but you're not getting the reward out of it when it's the simple route.
All right, Mariana,
Um,
hang on one second. Let me get my guy in here really fast, and we'll continue this conversation. So let's
okay.
welcome little Groot. David, what is going on, my man? David, can you hear us? David. Let's do a mic check.
Can you guys hear me?
David.
Yes,
I
we could
can
hear
hear you.
you.
All right. What's going on, David? How are you tonight?
No, that's fine. I'm getting no
Okay, so David.
audio from you.
All right. When David fixes microphone, we'll come
I can
back
hear
to
you
him.
guys.
Okay.
All right, can you hear us? Good. All right. What's
I
going on,
picked
David?
my
How are you
audio.
today? All right, good. You good?
Let's see. I could have been I could be a black gorilla, a dark black charcoal gorilla if I went outside today with 105 degrees at max out here in New York City. It's still hot in this building, even though the AC blast in full force. And I feel like I'm
Oh my
tonight
Well,
dinner.
goodness.
How about that?
you have a better day than I did already. You know why?
Why?
He cut his hand.
I sliced my hand open at work today. And then
Okay,
the
who
fucked up
pissed
part,
you off?
yeah, that's why I was calling you, asshole. I was calling you to start the show for me because I was trying to get right my hair. I'm like
I,
trying to rush it. This is a crappy job I
dude.
did.
The hold on, the heat was getting to my house so ridiculous. My kid coming home feeling like they came out from the desert. The AC was blast on full force and went up to 105 degrees. I was looking like, okay, I don't like being heat too much. I lose it sometimes. I'm like, what the hell?
I thought you
I
Africans
said,
are
which
used to
one?
it.
Excuse me?
I thought you Africans are used to the heat because you guys are. Is it
Uh,
Africa hot?
the,
I'm asking a serious question. I'm not trying to be a dick. Not a racist
no,
question. It's a
here's
serious
the
question.
problem. Yes, we are used to it, but the environment is slightly different. Because for one,
Mhm.
we got the heat, we got the humid, the weather climate is completely different. The
Okay,
environment itself is more like, how would I put it?
refreshing.
No, when you have pure food eating that are processed food eating, there's a different effect to it. You know what I'm coming from?
All right. Before we get into that, let's first of all, I have Marianne on the show with us tonight.
Hello,
So
Mariana. How you doing? Welcome
Hello.
to the network.
yeah.
I'm doing good.
Before we get finish get back to her, I want to give me your opinion, your opening thoughts. What is the purpose of life in your eyes? Don't side me.
Because if I give it from my own perspective, it'll be like, okay, we're not in Africa. But the purpose of life is more like living behind a legacy, sense of responsibility, sense of accomplishment. Is almost from different ethnic groups, it come with different meaning. Among Nigerians, for my people, it's more about creating or building a legacy, leaving something behind that would establish your family name, more important than what it is. Is to take a different path from your former generation if they have done something wrong. If you're looking at the Japanese way of looking at it, it's all about honor and respect. It's about causing such an impact. Remember, this question, it comes with different form and reality to different people. So when you use the word what is purpose in life, it depends who you are acting it to, for what background they're coming from. The water that the sense of responsibility, the sense of legacy, coming from an African mindset. Now we talk about in American society, sh- you beat me. I don't know. Some people don't seek. They have a purpose in life. They hear that life is. They hear that to enjoy and have fun and create chaos. But not a sense of being, a sense of identity. So it's a very. I can say it's a trick question. It's something coming from way back when you're coming from. If you were to do a documentary on this question, you'd be surprised what people will say. Coming from different ethnic groups, will not be the same answer. I'm saying that objectively.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's get back to you, Mariana. So you personally believe, like you were saying, God gives us two paths, correct?
Yes.
All right, David, do you agree with her?
Dog give it two paths. That is objectively correct.
Okay. So finish up where you left off, Mario. You were saying he gives us
As I
two
was
paths.
saying,
Mhm.
yeah. Sometimes God will give you like what direction you want to go. You could take the easy way, but then you're not gonna be satisfied or be happy with the result, whatever it is.
Mhm.
Or you could go difficult, but at the end of the result, you will get a better result. Whatever it is, it's not easy. Of course, life is not easy. I will say. Um, sometimes, sometimes God has a timing for everything. Sometimes we have to wait, and like you listen, God, like you ask yourself, how much longer? How much longer? Sometimes, you feel like you want to give up, like is there's way to get out of it, or there's way.
Mariana, let me ask you a question. Hang on. Are you walking away from your house or something because you're breaking up really all of a sudden?
Hold on, let me move. Can you hear me now?
No.
No. Let me let me
You might have to exit and come back in.
okay, I will come back.
All right, do that. That should fix the problem. Go ahead, David. You're up. You're saying?
I like what you asked that question about having two different choices because coming from a Christian background, it puts you a place where you have to make a decision. There's not
Okay.
no multiple question type of thing. It's more like asking what path you're willing to take, who you're willing to follow, who you're willing to listen, what kind of life you plan to establish or build, or what kind of life you plan to enjoy and have. It's a question of your own personal will. Now, I'm not trying to come out as a heavy Bible scholar. I will leave that to the President Paul Bennett in that kind of way because that's his area. But
Yeah.
I
Let's
will
wait
understand.
when he gets in and asking that question. But let me get Mariana back in here really fast before you lose her again. Mariana, go
It's
ahead.
still staticky on my end for some reason. Is it
David,
staticky?
any idea? You're the tech guy.
Normally, it depends on what your environment is. If you're near any electrical pole, it will be some static. If you're in an area whereby there not too many repeater, that'll be a good situation. If you're not near
I
a
notice my phone
Wi-Fi,
is hot.
your phone is hot. Oh,
Yeah.
And you have an iPhone, so that shouldn't have a problem with that.
it
Are you
shouldn't.
connected to Wi-Fi?
No. Let me see
You're
if I
fine. You
can get
sound
out.
fine right now. So let's go ahead. Go ahead. Keep going.
Okay.
Go. You were saying?
Me? I
No,
thought I was
Mariana.
saying.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Go ahead.
Um, as I was saying, sometimes, okay, of course, there's two paths in life: the easy way or the hard way. In
Hmm.
life, no matter what it is, um, sometimes, when you want to take the easy way, but you don't feel satisfied with the result. But when you take the hard road, the hard road, it will, 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 it's better off you get a, reward towards the end. It's like sometimes it takes longer to endure, and it's not easy. Definitely, life is not easy. I would say there are days like you feel like, okay, this is like very hard to endure or very difficult to, no matter what it is in life. It could be a job, it could be a loved one that gives you a hard time, it could be, a coworker, or anything, or it could be somebody that gives you a hard time. Let's say, why I cannot do this, and they always do the opposite.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's but the bottom line is, um, it's better off to endure and go through struggles in life, and then towards the end you get the reward. I know that it's not sugarcoating, but in life sometimes you have to endure that, and then God will be happy that you know how to put up with, because they're trying to build a stronger person. Once you able to do that and overcome that, then that you got the reward, no matter what it is. It could be what you go through, even health, likewise. Which let's say if you have a diagnosis, I don't know how I'm going to overcome this, but of course you have to have a fight. Either you give up or you have to have a fight.
All right,
Because
Maria, hold on a
life is
second.
like
Hold
you
up a
have.
second. Let's get coach in here, and we'll get back to you. Okay. All right, guys. Let's welcome coach to the
Okay.
show. All right, coach. What's going on, my man?
How you doing, man? I was trying to hear what she was saying, man. It was breaking up real bad. I couldn't really catch
Yeah,
on to
it's
what she
just
was saying.
this is her first time doing a stream, so
Oh, what's
she's
up?
having the whole time. So this is Coach Trey, and this is obviously Mariana. Coach is very knowledgeable. Feel free to ask me any question you want, Mariana, if you want. But before we do that, let's get
Okay.
Coach in here for a minute, get him his point. What is the purpose of life in your opinion?
Man, in my opinion, man, I don't think I ever really figured it out yet. You know what I'm saying? I just try to be purposeful. Things that I do, things that I try to achieve, things I try to learn. I just try to be purposeful in it. So I don't think that's like, okay, I figured it out type of something that I can even phantom. I understand that, what I'm saying, the thought could be there, but it's like, what is my purpose? I mean, it's to be intentional about, I don't know, man. It's hard for me to answer. Some people could probably have an answer, but for me, I ain't never looked at life like, oh, I made it, or oh, this is where I want to be. Never. I never did that. Even through my life's journeys, you know what I'm saying? I just realized, hey, I had to put in the work to do it. And whatever detours came about, I guess my results was more, it had more energy than people and distractions. So I don't think that's an interesting question though. But
You're
when
saying in your 75 years old you are on this planet, you never thought about it once.
first of all, you disrespectful. First of all,
I
first of
am
all,
glad I'm
first of
glad
all,
you answered it that way.
so I can still hear it good, but okay, I get you. So
Bro, I'll be honest with you. All day today, I was busting on this guy. He's my oldest guy in my kitchen. He's a dishwasher slash server. I go, first floor is our memory care that people, when losing memory. I go, Rich. He goes, what's up, Pete? Like, first floor is looking for you. They lost a resident. He goes, all day long. I looked at my boss like, yo, when do the residents are supposed to be doing dishes in the kitchen? He goes, what are you talking about? We got Rich. He goes, you're an asshole. Everybody's going to me.
see. Okay, so let go of Rich. But ask that question again, man. Ask me that again. You asked me something.
With in your whole life, you've been on this planet. You never thought about it once.
No, I thought about it several times. This is what I'm saying. I don't know how many times I thought about it. And I haven't figured it out yet. That's why I said I just try to be purposeful for the most part. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Is as if I put my mind to something, I just try to complete it. And I'm more intentional about it now at this age than 20 years ago, 30 years ago, but I knew I had to complete certain things that I came across in my life, like, certain achievements. I played football, basketball. I was cool with sports, but I took education serious. Should I have taken it serious when I was younger? Yes, because they was trying to give it to me, and I was like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I act like I was a genius. Sometimes I just act like I was regular when I was younger. But sports gave me the balance. And then once I got into college, you know what I'm saying, I really enjoyed that early, but I hurt my knee and they took my little scholarship. So I didn't want to ask my parents I needed $1,000 student loan and I didn't take it, right? And I said, okay, I got to do something. So I knew I would work. I didn't have to work until my first year of college. So I didn't have to work. I played sports. I kept my grades, cut hair. I used to cut hair, man. You talking about somebody that can line up and cut. And I was doing that at 14, 15 years old. So by the time I just didn't ask for it. And then I didn't ask my parents to help me. But then when I came home from school, because I went like 2 years, then I came home. I got me a little job working at Target. I said, man, this ain't going to be my life, man. Because look, I was working overnight and I'm in there stealing damn bikini underwear and shit for myself. Back in the day, men, we were men. We wore them, if you was a man, we can wear something. I can model. I had the little man body, I was.
Oh, you took a Speedo.
No, it was like underwear they sold in the store. It was for the brother. It was for the men. It was the difference.
You should be a man.
No,
like that's how I look at you. Like, what the hell are you talking about?
I was 20, 21, 22. The ladies loved them. Every time I took it was
Listen, we don't need any more visualization. No. I think we get the picture on. Mr. Chippendale over here.
But then what I'm saying.
David at one.
I found myself working. And I realized I wanted more. So then I was like, if I go back to college, I got to pay for it. I want to go do it. So I was like, my buddy joined the service. I'm like, well, shit, I guess I joined too. And once I made that decision, it changed my life. I had to go back to school. I deal with injury. I had to get a job. I had to work it. You know what I'm saying? So getting married again, you know what I'm saying? Just being more protective, being more purposeful, you know what I'm saying? And I work with a lot of young people, so I'm always sort of like fair down the middle. It's not, so I don't know I haven't found it. I can tell you that. I'm going to say that. I don't even know if I want to find it. I want to keep searching for it because they give me stuff to do.
See, I like his answer.
David, hang on. Let's get the next person in. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our president. All right, Mr. President, you're up. How are we doing tonight?
I'm pretty exhausted, actually. I just worked out before I got on here, and this was leg day, so I'm not as coherent as I normally will be, but I'll try to focus as much as possible tonight. But
okay.
I'm pretty. This is my post-workout chocolate shake here, so whey isolate. So I'll be sipping on this during the show.
All right, Paul. Same question I asked Trey. I asked you, what is the purpose of life? What that means to you?
To find and obey God.
That's how simple it's for you.
Yeah, and the reason I'm saying that is because, and again, I got caught up in this when I was younger. But I had heard a CD series. This guy, he was talking about decision making in the will of God, and he broke it down, talking about there's like God has like a perfect will, like His will is going to be done no matter what, regardless of what we do. He's just going to do what He does. And then there's a permissive will in which human beings have freedom to make decisions. And as long as those decisions don't conflict with His perfect will, then you can do pretty much anything that you want. So I used to think that there was only one woman for me. or I used to think there was only one job for me or one vocation for me or something, that God was going to direct my every major decision that I made would had to be directed by God. And I came to a point and just looking at, living life and seeing how other people live, how, people in the faith, people outside the faith. And I kind of gave some of that up. My thing is, it's not so much, I don't believe that God tells you who to marry, but I think he does give us some guidance on who to marry in terms of character, what to look for. But to say that he's saying, and again, some people may say this, and I'm not going to debate them on what they believe God told them to do. I'm not going to do that. Russell Wilson said God told him to marry Sierra. I'm not going to argue with that. But the way I look at it is, it's not so much whether I married whomever. Did she have the qualities that God would be pleased with? Was more so than that. There could have been 10. There could have been 10 women. If they all had the same quality, I don't think God's going to care who I marry. As long as I married someone who again lived in his perfect will. So same thing with like a career. I don't think God has a career for you necessarily. But at the same time, if you're born with aptitudes or abilities, whether it be physical ability, mental ability, a passion for something, I think it's relatively simple. I mean, and I used to see people who were like, yeah, you have all these physical gifts, but you're still praying to God, like, God, what do you want me to do? Like, I don't think it's that hard. If you got an aptitude for math or whatever, you're getting 1,500 SATs and your math scores are off the chain or whatever. I don't think that's necessarily something you have to constantly seek God over in terms of what should I be doing with my life. I think, again, I think we have different giftings and abilities that everyone's born with. And I think it's just natural to pursue those things. So, I'm less dogmatic. I don't think God is a micromanager. I don't think God is saying, okay, Pete, you're supposed to be a cook and I'm supposed to be an IT and coach is supposed to be working with kids or whatever. I don't think God works that way. But I think just based on life circumstances that have brought us to a point, we made some decisions. And I think as long as we're operating within godly parameters, I think God honors those decisions. I don't think God has to be necessarily involved in every decision that we make. So that's why I boil it down. Where I get that from, not only like I said that CD series that I saw, but it's from the word itself. Because really, the main person in the Bible who asked this question the most, he dedicates an entire book to it, is Solomon, who was considered to be the wisest man ever. He wrote a book, Ecclesiastes, where he asked these very questions. What is the meaning of life? He's considered to be the wealthiest man who ever lived. And yet he said money was meaningless. He talked about relationships, and he said a lot of relationships are meaningless. So you strip down, or he talked about achieving things. We talk about accomplishment. And he said that accomplishment at the end of the day, yeah, you get a trophy, you get a prize for something, but how long does the high from that getting that prize, how long does that really last? I mean, you just had Oklahoma City Thunder just won the championship. Congrats to them. We'll be talking about that tomorrow night on the sports show. But how long is that going to last? Before people start thinking about the season and next season and people want their money and coaches get fired or people want to move on and go to a new team. Well, all that happiness after the confetti falls to the floor and everyone's happy, like a week later, it's like these guys are back in training camp. You know what I mean? So again, it's not even about winning things. So you get a car, great. How long is that new car smell going to last? Before the car just becomes a car, or that new home, that smell of the cedar wood. When you go into like a brand new house or the housing development, you smell that wood. How long is that going to last? Before a few days later, you say you want a bigger house, or you redecorate your house, and then 2-3 years later, your wife comes to you and says, "Oh, I think I want to change the drapes again," or something. So so again, all of these things that people pursue, material, um, possessions, or some accomplishments or what have you. At the end of the day, it doesn't last. So the only thing that does last is, again, are you good mentally, physically, and spiritually? If you believe in God, do you have a relationship with God? And is your heart, are you at peace with God, and are you at peace with people? Because when I say obey God, again, I've made over the years, I've made my faith very simple. So when it says obey God, well, what did God say? Well, Jesus said, love God with all your heart, soul, and mind. That's the first and great commandment. Seconds like unto it, love your neighbor as yourself. Love God, love people. If anything that I get materially, it's to love God and love people with it. If I have a house, it's to love the people that are in the house. It's to love the people that come to my house. It's to be a blessing wherever I am, because I recognize that God has blessed me. So at the end of the day, I don't care if I become a millionaire. I used to be in my youth. Yeah, it's like I was talking that talk. Yeah, one day I'll be a millionaire. Didn't happen. I wanted this. God bless you. You wanted this. You wanted that. Yeah, some things I got more than I expected, and some things didn't materialize at all. But I'm still good, and I'm still at peace. And I still think certainly there's things that I still have some fire in my belly. There's still some initiatives, some things that are on my heart that I want to accomplish. Again, serving other people. But outside of that, I'm good. Now, unless God comes to me and says, look, I want you to do this or that. Like I said, I'm good. I mean, people for years have been talking about, oh, you need to be a preacher. I was kidding with your earlier people, but people have told me for years, yeah, you need to be a pastor. You need to be a preacher or something. I've had no inkling nor desire to be a preacher at all. I didn't get the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit didn't do a work on me, and I'm fighting the call to the ministry and all that. I just love God. If I'm going to take the faith seriously, yeah, I probably need to read and study, show myself approved. And the more I read, the more the faith got simpler for me, not harder. It's interesting that a lot of people who are so spiritual, they make the faith harder. When if you truly understand what's being said, it should be easier.
Yeah. So a funny thing, obviously, you remember a father comes to dinner that was on our
Right.
show. He needed a little help, and like he goes to me, Peter, come on back. I'm like, father, I'm never too old to be an altar boy. Like, he turns on like, you're never too old to be any altar boy. Get your ass in here. And I'm like, I get in there, I put the robes on. For the older men like us, we just wear plain black in our old stock church. He comes like, well, it kind of fits you. I looked at him like, don't even think about it. Imagine me as a priest. Just imagine my mouth. I'm like, that's all I gotta say. But before we move on, like, get Alicia in here. Alicia, you're up. You there?
Hi, everyone. Yeah.
Hey, what's going on?
Hi. So this topic actually is something that really hits me because I'm having a hard time in life with this topic right now. If you asked me a year and a half ago what the purpose in life was, I could name it. I could tell you many things. And then my cancer diagnosis hit me. And I'm living a year and a half now with stage 4 breast cancer. And I'm just trying to find what the purpose in life is now. Really, each day it's just basically surviving.
Okay.
Blessings.
Who wants to go first on this one?
Sister, I have a question for you. Well, I just want to ask you this question. Are you in any pain or anything?
Yes, it has affected my bones and like energy level. So that's another thing that keeps me from like doing certain things. I had to leave my job position,
Hmm.
but I am very grateful that I was able to stay at the same job I was at, and they gave me a simpler position where I didn't have to like move or do a lot of physical work.
Hmm. Hmm. But and just your body is just doing what it wants to do at this point.
Yes.
Okay.
And I do have a son, so I try to keep him in my mind, for
How old your baby?
14.
Man, I wish I could tell. I wish I could take a hold of him you know, for a little
Hmm.
while. I wish I could show him some love for a little while.
Right.
Hey, it's you and him. Is it just you and him?
Yes.
Listen, if you can do anything, this is just my advice. You know what I'm saying? Just talk to him, and if y'all can move around, if any capacity, just live the best life you can at this point. Do you what I'm saying? I don't even just because there's really nothing that I can say to probably get you out of this mind state. But do you look back on your life and understand that you did a great job?
Well, I feel like I've experienced a lot. I mean, I've been married, I've had my child. Um, I've had a job that I loved. I was looking forward to moving forward in that job in other capacities,
Hmm.
but I have to accept that I can't do that right now.
Hmm. How often do you and your son talk?
Um, well, yeah, he lives with me full time, so
Yeah,
he's all like we always talk, and
yeah. Have y'all talked about I'm just saying as far as his next chapters as a young man and just taking your love and with him and just being a sort of a guy that is continue to find his purpose.
yes, I
Yeah,
try as much as I can.
yeah.
Sometimes
You faded out.
And we lost her. Oh, there she is. She's right back. I don't know if this is a restream problem or is it just a connection problem. Carly, so you were
I'm
saying?
okay.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
repeat what you said.
no, I said sometimes
Hard
I mean,
headed?
we've talked, but he's more into friends and all that now.
No,
And he's actually able to enjoy more because I was very sick for the first year. So I felt like he lost a lot that year.
well, well, you can't. Well, I mean, I know it's your baby, but you know, you you've experienced probably, what I'm saying, just that experience. Most people, what I'm saying, wouldn't can't live that experience. You've lived it, right? So now here you are. You have a 14-year-old son, right? And as long as I don't know, there's really no answer, but just continue to talk to him. He's a 14-year-old, typical 14-year-old. You just let him know you love him, and you want him to just try to find his purpose and live life with intention. Because life is, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Yeah, I lost my mom, and it was one of the most devastating things in my life. And she bared the pain, and she was on dialysis, and I avoided her gravesite for 15 years, But listen, you still living, you still here, you got a
Yes.
baby, and I'm gonna shut
And
up. But just talk to him, ask him how he feels and what he thinks. Uh, you
I
know, uh,
believe in God and everything. And
yeah. See, and hey,
So, we lost her again. Is her connection, I believe, isn't there? She is. All right. David, you got to lower your mic, dude.
Alicia, I would say this: you're a very strong woman to still be alive and have to come to your son. If you're listening, I lost my mom to stage 4 cancer, but when she was diagnosed with that, she never let me know anything. She waited till the moment that she was dying to have my brother call me. That's like a whole entire year of her diagnosis before she passed away. But you having the ability to have these conversations with your son and to interact, I call that a blessing. Because when I was closing my eyes, Peter thought I was sleeping, I was thinking about that same scenario because I was working. This happened back in 2023, around November. Got a call from my brother while he in Texas. He was in the hospital with my mom, dying. And I found that very strange. Then after she passed, my brother let me know that she told them that she was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer more than a year ago. And I lived nearby her, but she never told me anything about it. Just hearing it on the day that she's dying in the hospital in Texas, never come to me, never trying to make amends or fix whatever food that she must have burned. I found it strange. But for you as a mom who's able to talk to her strong, I consider you a very strong woman if you're listening. That hit home because maybe God give you a purpose to build a stronger connection with your son if you're listening. Because I find it scary when parents have such things and hid it from their kids, then wait until their deathbed to talk to them. When you have many chance to reach out, I found that I will not do that with my kids. This is why I said you come to what is life and there's a purpose, there's a responsibility. I had to constantly put my kid in my mind as first priority, no matter what. Ask myself, what legacy would I leave behind concerning with them, regardless the way it sounds or feels to me. I put that burden on myself on purpose because I don't want to repeat the same thing my parents did to me. But hearing you and you spending as much time you can with your son, I call you very honorable.
Thank you all.
I know I know it may be sound scary, but I believe it makes you stronger.
Thank you.
All right, Alicia,
Mhm.
and
Life
I'm
is not
sorry, David,
life is not easy, but I appreciate you.
and I have told you this 100 times. I may come harsh the way I talk to you off camera, obviously, is because I know you can beat this. Not if you're going to beat, you will fucking beat this. And then in a year from now, or in 6 months, or whatever, you get diagnosed as you're cancer free. We're gonna be laughing and you're like about this. And I said this. I said, remember what I told you the other day? One of my really good friends and my mentor who told me how to cook, one of my old chefs, he has got hit with twice lung stage 4 and colon stage 4, and he's fighting. There's no reason you should give up.
Yes, I know.
Right?
You preach it to me all the time.
Yeah. Paul, you want to take over?
Wow. First of all, I mean, you're truly my prayers, Alicia, in this time. I think I would just, if I was to say anything and take anything I say with a grain of salt, um, really just use this time to, again, connect with God. It may sound cliche sometimes, but I think all of us at some point we got to, deal with the possibility of our own mortality. I mean, I can go. I traveled New Jersey Turnpike every day or whatever, and I see accidents and fatalities daily. And so there's no guarantee that I may get home to my family or not. And so when I said earlier about the idea of finding God and then obeying God, finding about more about His will, about His purpose, you being at peace with God and trusting God. So I mean, even if the situation, like I know, like if I left this planet tomorrow, I would be at peace not only with myself, but I'd always be at peace with my family because I know my family is also connected to God, and I trust and believe that God will do in them what He wants to do with them. So it's not about um, it's not about other people. At the end of the day, it's about you and your relationship. And so clean, holding on to that while you're still fighting this off. So I mean, my thing is, as long as I'm on this earth, I want to be as useful as I can to as many as I can while I'm on Earth. But when it's my time to go, because I almost left, I was in a how I even came to God to begin with. I was in a major car accident back in 1994. A 16-year-old kid hit me head on, and he died in the accident. And I didn't have any kind of spiritual foundation or anything at all. And I wasn't, quite frankly, I wasn't looking for one because religion turned me off. But I started asking myself some questions. Well, why is it that I'm still here and he's not? And then I started that sort of seeking process. What is the meaning of why am I still here? And it came to a point where I started to believe, well, God had a purpose for me being here. Now, again, I had a lot of injuries. I still have injuries that, I have scars on my body that remind me every day of what could have happened. But it put my life path on something where it's almost like I got a second life after that. So again, you never know when it's going to be your time. And so that's why I encourage people to always make sure that piece of your life, are you spiritually good? I'm not saying go to a particular church or a particular denomination or what have you, but can you find and have that peace with the Creator and trust in that Creator that everything, even if you were to leave this world, that your son would be taken care of. And also, but again, while you're still here, showing your son by your example, your willingness to fight and combat this disease, and show him that life is worth fighting for. It's not saying you're not giving up. Life on this earth is precious, but even if you pass from this place, there's still an afterlife after this. There's still another dimension, another plane after this. And then he's gonna in the life journey that he's gonna be on, there may come a point in time where he may have to think about these same things. And so really at the end of the day, that's really what I find the only purpose that really matters. I'll just say that because as you said earlier, I mean, you were fortunate that you were able to maintain the career that you had and work on a job, but some people don't. So again, people put so much into their job or their career. They put so much into status. They put so much into making money. They put so much into their social network. And they realize all that work, all that time I put in, all that time I was putting in, thinking I was, helping people, all the people that I helped, and they didn't necessarily reciprocate. People who they would have been with you for a minute, and then once they found out you got the cancer diagnosis, sometimes people just bounce. Like, you guys were down, and then those people kind of ghost you.
Paul, if you remember, I told you that happened to me with my family.
Yeah,
when my mom got diagnosed with cancer,
exactly. So
fuck you, I got.
Yeah. So again, you start to realize the things that we oftentimes strive in this world to get. It's so important. At the end of the day, your peace and your relationship with God is most important. And let's say if you don't believe in God, I'm just hypothetical. I know you said you do, but I'm just saying, I'm speaking to anybody who might be. You may not believe in a certainly not in a monotheistic God or whatever, or you might be, because I know a lot of people, they might be atheists or agnostics, they're spiritual, but even still, there's still a peace that you need to be able to manifest. That whether I'm here or wherever I go after this, if I become one with the force, I have no idea. But you just need to be like, look, I'm good. You know what I mean? And everything else, and it's not so much even about the cancer diagnosis or even beating the cancer, but it's about what are you learning about life? What are you putting on the relationships that matter with the time that you have left? And again, I'm praying you get 50 plus years full remission. I claim the blood on that, and I pray you nothing but. But even if that doesn't happen, you're still good. So that's what for a lot of people. That's why I tend to these days, and maybe because I'm older. When I was a younger guy, yeah, I wanted the world, and I chased the world. And like I said, some things I got, some things I didn't. I think I got a better wife than I could ever imagine. But certain things, certain struggles that I had to deal with, bullying, and just growing up, and just not being popular, and just all these things. And it's like life has kind of come full circle over time, and a lot of that's come because I gained a better understanding of who I am as a person and whose I am as a person. And then that just settled everything. So I'm good. And I look at all the adversity that I went through that time. It's like working out. Like I said, I'm tired because I worked out tonight, but life is a workout. And yeah, it's supposed to hurt, and you're gonna get knocked down, you're gonna get fatigued, and you don't think you can press on or whatnot. But I got stronger. The toughest adversities in life, when I had the accident, when I lost both of my parents and all that, I got stronger. When I had to start taking care of my parents, and I'm the youngest of five, and everybody else kind of like just went the other way, I had to step up and be. But I'm asking God, why do I have to do this? And then I kind of came into a realization, well, why not you? That's why you're here. So again, life toughened me up. It built them spiritual muscles that allowed me to do what I need to do in the physical realm. And I still, even to this day, when I train people, especially when I work with young people, when I train with clients, I use the physical training to communicate spiritual values and lessons, because it all kind of connects together. So I would say, and certainly in this time, while you're trying to heal and fight your physical battle, fight your spiritual battle as well, and make sure that you're good. And then let everything else, leave that up to God.
Thank you so much, Paul.
So, Alicia, at this point, do you have any questions for the team?
No, they just really, from what you've told me and what they're saying too, just take each day, put my faith in God, and keep going.
The only thing I'm going to push back with you, you have mentioned to me on the phone a couple times we talked, is you don't have anybody. And I'm going to tell you in front of everybody on live camera right now, you do have people.
Yes.
Your parents are where? How far are your parents again? Remind me.
2 houses down.
Pretty much they're your neighbors.
Yeah.
So I talk to I talk to your father and stuff like that. Your
Mhm.
father's gonna be there in a heartbeat, and that's why it annoyed me the crap out of me when you said you didn't have nobody. I had nobody when my mom had cancer. My
I
whole
know.
family situation. So David too. So
And the thing that I'm trying not to cry. I was crying here for a while, and we keep doing this because hearing your story, it struck a severe chord. My mom knew about her diagnosis, and she lived close to me. She kept it quiet for more than a year. She's not even trying to talk to me about it or anything. And just for me to find out on her deathbed, it it hit home.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. It hit home. This is why I take my my place as a parent extremely more serious than I normally do. But I don't want to be that type of parent who's like to put some kind of unnecessary burden on my kid when that happened to me growing up. I put myself in a mindset whereby I don't think I have a right to take a vacation. I feel like I got a responsibility, no matter what. Regardless how I feel, I think my children are more important to me. When I meet people like Mr. Bennett, Coach Furs, Peter, Wally, it kind of give me a room to speak more, flush out my thought more. Know that I do have a purpose. besides just being a parent. I do have a purpose to share information. I do have a purpose to inspire other people, to give some wise counsel when needed. When I hear you, I'm saying you are blessed, but the God give you another purpose, so that it can help you and your son in many ways, form, and fashion, without even realizing it.
Yes.
Some people don't know what they do when they keep the type of information away from their loved one on purpose and wait till the last minute. It leaves a huge question. If I'm even that important to you to begin with, that you kept it quiet from me. Was your ego or your pride more important than your family?
Yes, I'm
That's the
I'm
question.
I'm very
That's the thing that question me. Because when I hear you, I can hear that there's a level of sincerity from your part. You don't want to keep it from your son. It makes you get closer to your son, which I'm sure about that. Because I don't want to do the same like if I have a diagnostic and I know my time and everything, I will hide it from my kid. And when they found out I kept quiet, it was more like the why. I'm not that important to you to know anything, so I could be more aware of like it does that. I will say it again, you do have people here.
At least,
yes.
at
I'm
least,
very open about my journey too. I share it with everyone.
Alyssa, did you have any hobbies? You have anything that you used to do that you enjoy doing?
Oh, her hobby will be a pain in my neck.
Ah, shush
That's
it.
a great hobby.
Fuck you over there. Go ahead, Lisa. I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead. What's your biggest? Wasn't your hobby listening to music at one point and going to live concerts?
Yeah, I still do that. I try to.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Anything that you do personally, like draw,
I
write,
read. I like
read?
to read. Mm,
What's the
yes.
last book you wrote? You read?
So I actually belong to a Bible group. So I read the book that we're doing each month.
What's the last book? What was that book?
It was the Book of Esther.
Oh, Esther. Okay. Do you see yourself in what you read so far?
Yeah, the power of women and strong and going forward, and yeah, that helps me a lot.
Okay. Hmm. I'll say this as far as the way you where you are, right? And since you still have, you kicking and you fighting and you living, just bring everybody together. Mother, father, son, anybody that's, directly connected to you, and just have a conversation. Just bring everybody together, because I'm sure you want your son to be in the best hands. You know what I'm saying? Because a 14-year-old can get lost
Yes.
without his mom around.
Yeah,
And
and
this, and that's the age though. But see, you gotta have a conversation though. See, at this point in life, you ain't afraid of nothing. If they say we're gonna take you over a volcano, you like I'm all in because your life is to live to the highest level. That's my, I ain't saying what to
yes.
do. I'm just
Yes,
saying
it is.
you don't
It
have
actually
no,
is.
you don't
I'm
have
like,
no restrictions.
right.
You if they say go climb Mount Everest, you like here. And when we leaving,
Mm-hmm.
see that's the I'm just saying but bring everybody together and have a conversation. Have some conversation because your legacy is still going to be living, and you would want the best outcome because it could be used as a positive in a sense. Give him something to have a purpose for. He can live like hey, and it just sort of changes the dynamic because he's going to be up against a lot. Does he talk to his dad?
Unfortunately, not very much.
Is dad around? I would talk to
Mm,
dad and I would talk to him separate and then see if you can bring them both together because the dynamic still has to be. I mean, it's life changing. 14-year-olds are very curious. 14-year-olds are investigative. They do
Coach,
things
hang on
without
one
thinking.
second. Time out. Alicia, this is the perfect time to be open about that because Coach Stray and Paul are the two best people to talk about this. If you feel comfortable sharing.
About his dad?
About Steve, yeah.
Yeah, no, he does not have a great relationship with him. He does not have a good father figure from him.
Does his father suffer from anything?
Mental illness.
Oh, okay,
Mm.
okay. Well, still, I mean, you never know. What happened years ago could, but have the conversation if you can with both separately first, because understand when your energy is, when your son is reaching for energy, and you're not there, then he's gonna reach for other type of energy, and also it puts it on the man too. I believe in. I used to bring fathers and sons. I used to talk to fathers in prison about their kids. So it's a dynamic that could possibly give the trajectory.
Yeah.
Because think about it, he's 14. He's into friends because 14-year-olds seek friends. They seek approval, but all friends ain't good friends. And if he's not given a vision to decipher that, he could be one of the worst friends and just be cut off early in life and then try to recover for the rest of his life about what happened. But it's a great opportunity to get ahead of it so that with mom and dad and maybe his dad, maybe not, but mom and dad, they can sort of protect him in a sense and give him a sense of direction, and he'll find his purpose. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, I wouldn't want to see nothing happen to you or him, but his
Yes.
life can be a blessing to you and dad. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all both struggle with things, and he's still a part of both of y'all. So I'll shut up.
No, yes, that is actually the reason that I do keep going is for him because unfortunately I do worry about him being sadly left to his father.
But why you afraid about him being left to his father? Is his father violent or anything?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He okay. So
Yes, he's an abuser.
okay. So what about your parents though? They're gonna get old. You know what I'm saying? They're getting older, and
Yes,
he
that's what I
he
worry.
he needs a village though.
Yes.
But that's why it's important to sort of try to just bring everybody together in some capacity. Now, if the father elects not to, then the son still has to have a conversation about how he can still move forward despite that. He can't carry that pain and the loss of you together. It's too hard
You know.
because he's 14. He understands everything that's going on, everything, the relationship strain with his father, you being the one thing that he knows he's always had may not be a constant, and he's 14 years old. He's going through puberty, girls, whatever they doing, he's going through it all at the same time. And it's important to me. I had a sister, she had breast cancer 3 times. Luckily, she survived.
Damn.
Thank God.
But it's a great opportunity to bring that jewel together, the family together. Sometimes that just brings everybody some form of peace because all y'all got. And when pieces of the puzzle start falling off, and the last thing I would want, and I'm gonna say, as far as my son to not get everything, you know how people have that bucket list? You on your bucket list, don't nothing stop you. You ain't afraid of shit in the world no more. That's the way I see it. You go, hey, because God got you now. What are we talking about? God got you. I'm sure.
That is so true. I really am not. Somebody mentions to go here, go there. I'm all for it.
Dave, you okay?
It's hard not to be okay because as I listen to Alicia, I have more effort for her. And I respect her even more because under that situation, I have the way of thought whereby it kind of hurtful. Like, I'm feeling highly concerned for her son more than ever. If I was a son myself,
Hmm.
and this is not too long ago I buried my mom 2 years ago. I remember I talked to you guys, Paul, Peter, I told you a very few people what I was dealing with. And here another guest here going through something like that. I hope and believe that you overcome this and stay much longer for our son. I will never wish for a day for cancer on anybody. I will never. And this is the only very few times you ever find me on the platform live with tears in my eyes.
Second time.
I know. But it's not a regular topic. It's not. Because unlike Mr. Bennett, I too had a few crossroads in my life. I had to act myself with my purpose here. One of those crossroads I was questioning my faith due to my upbringing. I had to change my thought process and my principle because this is something that I think in the time we're in right now, this is a question I think everybody needs to start asking themselves more often what their purpose in life because it's not all about money. It's not all about fame. It's not all about the riches. Much more than that. There are people tell me that I inspire them. I question myself that I really inspire them. There's sometimes I doubt myself, but I have people like Mr. Bennett who for you, Wally, who remind me I do have a purpose. I have been hard on myself for so long, but I give myself credit. But not really, I did inspire a lot of people through my past, through my struggle. To have my cousin who took retired from the Navy told me I was a big inspiration for him to go that long in the military. I find that strange because I never had it easy. But to hear people tell me what I have done, what they see me go through, and I still push through, it get them motivation that if I can go through what I go through, they can go through even much more than that. I don't like being in this environment when I'm trying to control my tears.
David,
When I hear
remember
another,
you're in safe grounds.
I know, I know. I feel for Alicia a lot more than you can imagine because I hope that she can overcome this and stay much longer. So she can see her son graduate, see her son get married, see her son start a new family. That was my hope for her, genuinely.
Thank you, David.
I'm sorry, God.
Thank
This
It's fine. Take a minute. Take a minute. I'll take you off camera for a minute. All right.
thank
okay.
thank you
All right.
everyone for all your advice, inspiration, and everything. I appreciate everything I hear from you guys. I watch your shows all the time and you always inspire me.
Appreciate your support.
Um, we got a question in the comments. Let me see if anybody can answer this one. Let me bring my comments back up. Back here. Till David gets back because he needs to take a minute right now. How do you find your purpose? Anybody?
Well, I think it's what I described. I think you talk about it's two different things. I think there's a spiritual purpose to life, is to find God, find a big God. I think that is the purpose of every human being, to find a spiritual connection. As far as your purpose on earth, like, like I said, I don't think it's so simple to say, okay, well, it's a job or it's a career or a vocation. Start with what you're good at. What are you? What are your interests? What are your talents? Again, I think a lot of people make this thing more complicated than it needs to be, because you have a talent in a certain area, but then everybody says, "Oh, well, you need to be doing something else." But I mean, look, if you're 6'2", 250 pounds with 12% body fat, and you can run a 4.3, then look, maybe football. It's the coach. Maybe that's your purpose in life. Maybe you shouldn't ask too many questions in that. Like I said, if you have a vocation for reading or literature, if you have a vocation for math, if you have a vocation for or an aptitude or an affinity for computing, if you like to work on cars, if you like mechanic, if you like to drive truck, like I said, there's so much out. Like I said, I think we get so much in the weeds, and like everything has to be so scripted in your life, and I don't think it does. I think there's some core things that you need to be good with, and I think, again, it boils down to those two things: do you love God, and do you love human beings? Is what you're going to do, is it going to impact? How is it going to impact others around you? Like I said, I don't think God cares who you marry as far as an individual person, but character matters. And he talks about those kind of things. Yeah, I mean, if you go with a woman who's kind of loose and wayward or whatever, then that might not be the best choice for you. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to choose better, make better decisions. And I think we get some guidance on what those decisions are, but it's not, I don't think it has to boil down to the light bulb. I found out what my purpose in life is. Because, again, I've gone through many jobs, through many different paths that I thought I was going to be on and whatnot. And I had my ideas. And life showed me that, again, my ideas may not be what come to fruition. But when I look back over my life and see where I'm at, I'm glad I'm kind of in the position that I'm in. I appreciate the fact that I was in that auto accident. Everything unfolded in my life such where, again, I was able to make the most or the best of the situation that I was in, good or bad. And so I don't spend too much time. All I want, for me, it was got to a point where it's fundamental. Obviously, I think a person needs to be able to take care of themselves, to live independently. And if you're going to have a family, be in a position to take care of them. What job you have that does that, as long as it's legal, that's up to you. Who am I to judge what you do as a career? And it's funny how people judge you based on your career. You could be a garbage man making almost 100K in some areas, or a bus driver making 100K, and people look down on you saying, "Oh, well, that person has no ambition," but he's making more than most. So again, I don't judge people based on, their chosen vocations or what have you.
But the question, I think I answered similar earlier. I don't want to know what my purpose is, right, for me. And I think, when you're looking at purpose, a lot of times it happens. You can't predict the future, but I think, again, part of that purpose is to do something despite what other people think or feel about what you are doing. I never worried about how people would treat me or talk to me when I was young, helping kids how to grab a football and the form on a jump shot. And, what I'm saying, when I used to collect bottles, to sell them back to the store and get 15, 20 cents. When I learned how to cut hair, how I dressed, I never worried about the outside of me judging me and what I did. you know, and I've always been engaged with activity that involved other people. And I can learn from watching somebody else. If somebody else doing something dumb and I realize it don't align with who I am, I can say, I would not hang around that person. I would not do that dumb stuff. That was just me. I've been doing it as a kid.
Yeah.
When I dealt with people, my father was big on respect. I respected everybody. I came up in a time where we can sit around and joke on each other all day. All day. Only thing was damn near off limits was your mama. But even then, if she was fine, but it was respect. When you saw their mother, you sure didn't say what the hell you said over at the little field. You said, hey, Miss So-and-so. And that's the type of energy that I've tried to always bring when I meet people for the first time. Not looking at them like nobody's beneath me. The disadvantage. I've always been purposeful in trying to just allowing them to, when it comes to people, I guess I've always sort of been able to figure it out. But things that are happening to me, like I said, I wanted a better job when I was younger because I believed in working with your hands and hammering and nails and cutting grass. I believe everybody everybody needs to do that. Then when I got in my 20s, I learned how to work on my car. Learn how to get up under it, drop a pan, change some spark plugs, I learned all of that. I didn't question like, why would I do that? I'm a man. I want to get my hands dirty. You know what I'm saying? But then I get out of the military. I'm like, man, I got to go back to school because I don't see myself going back to doing the work that I did before I got this skill level, and it worked out. I didn't care about what other people thought. When I had to study, I studied. Hey, I can't party. I gotta go. I even ended up taking two of my nephews with me to school. I took them down to Mississippi for 2 years down there with me, and I still was able to parent, you know what I'm saying, and be a student. I didn't have no problem. I had them boys all over I-10. And one of them played, quick side note, he played overseas ball for like 12 years over. He led he got the most points at the college he went to. So under my little tutelage, and the first time he played, he cried. So, but for me, like even now working, in education, I don't know, just giving up some things that I knew would keep me sidetracked. Finding a woman that I found and the way it worked out so fast. And how I've jumped from level C to level A, and I'm cruising on level A, I wouldn't change any of that. And going forward, it's almost like I'm doing things with intention. I intend to finish every project I started, all the way down to the little bag of. I got this little handheld shoe shine box I got to put together. But yeah, man, life comes in ebbs and flows. If you make a commitment to have a better relationship with God and the higher power, be committed to that. Be committed to that. And then when you get to an age of understanding, everything will level itself out. You won't fight nobody. Won't nobody try to fight you. You ain't got to worry about money. You'll manage it. You'll understand the investments. So, and that's why I said, I don't think I want to figure it out because I like doing stuff. I like putting stuff together, fixing my wife, making sure she's good, making sure my dogs are good, my cats are good. And I didn't even like cats, but I love a cat in the house. You got a house outside, you got some yard, you better get a cat because they keep all the critters away. But just the whole aspect, helping people. I was thinking, I'm going to say this, I'm going to shut up. I was caught on the news where the youth center, they said they desperately need help, right? and I went over 2023 and dropped off like 4 boxes of clothes, coats, jackets, pants, you know what I'm saying? Stuff my son, he ain't wearing. I took some old clothes I had. It was about 4 boxes over. That guy was like, wow, man, appreciate it. Look. So I said, oh, I want to come back and do something, but I never followed back up. But since I saw that commercial on the news, I'm going to go back over and see what they need help with. And hopefully, I'm going to sit down with them and relay to them what it is I bring to this establishment and how I want it to be able to run. And hopefully they say, okay, because that's a space where some kids are maybe homeless. Some kids may be in foster care, things like that. Kids that are under the state. And it's almost plays right into what I was able to do in the schools. So if they would allow me that space and opportunity, then hopefully I can help them find a direction, not their purpose, but a direction to go so they can go and create that purpose. So if it's everything with God included, you know what I'm saying? Just respect for self-love, all that. So yeah, hopefully, man, that's what's going on, man. I'm excited. I'm nervous though, but I'm excited because when it comes to young people, shit, can't nobody tell me nothing, man. Can't nobody tell me nothing because they can do it. So I'm shut up, man, because I love this shit.
And I'm glad you said that because I have that same mindset for the past decade and a half. I sometimes ask myself, don't I have a purpose to give back to my own community or go back to Africa and build something to impact the youth? That's always been my mindset for the longest. I had a good close friend from my high school. He told me something I thought he was crazy. He said, why don't you come back to Nigeria and run for politics? I was like, out of your goddamn mind. You're trying to get me killed. Because he knew the kind of person I am. I was only that one person who look out for others and feel like I need to help where I can help or impact where I can impact. And lately, I feel like I have the urge to go back to Africa and do something there, do something a huge part of the impact. Let me do something that will impact the next generation. I believe everyone have a purpose to do what they need to do while they are alive. When I hear Coach Ford how he impact young people, I've done that a couple of times, maybe more than I can account throughout my path in life. When I get a chance to talk to young people, I'm trying to leave something behind for them to hold on to, give them the purpose to see what direction they need to choose for themselves. Wanting to lend an ear and lend advice to anybody whenever I can. This is why this question hit home in many ways. I don't want to be a person who leaves it earth without doing something positive to impact someone. It was my son, my daughter, somebody else, son or daughter, help a young person who looks to be a father who just got mad. I did that to one guy in my former church. Asked me a question, what it's like to be a father. I say it's one of the best feelings you ever have. Being a father will teach you a lot of things. It will teach you patience. It will teach you level of consistency. It will bring a sense of worth in your life. But it's good to have it with someone who wants to enjoy that experience with you. I enjoy being a father. I'm not gonna lie. I think that's part of my purpose, being a father. If anything, if I was to pass away, I want to have on my tombstone the greatest dad ever lived. That's something I want to have on my tombstone, not the multi-millionaire, not the entrepreneur, the greatest dad. Then that's the title I will enjoy the most. This is why I think everyone, like I said, everyone need to ask themselves each and every day, what is your purpose? What is your goal? What are you here for? Why you are here? to be in a path of life whereby there are too many attempts in your life, like people want to take you out, but you're still here, you're still living, you act why you're still here. To hear my big brother here, Mr. Paul Bennett, survive a car crash, it showed that they had the perfect reason why he's here. Life is not a joke. Life is not something you can take for granted. You have people who think they have authority to take other people's lives. They don't realize their own life can be taken from them. My main prayer is I hope I had impacted somebody's life in the very right direction. So it's something we can pass down to the next generation. That is my main hope. That is it. You can put out my final thought because right now I'm trying not to tear up more. This is a good conversation for real. For me. Thank you.
Because we're getting close to the show. I know I have videos I never got a chance to, but do you guys just want to hit our final thoughts and call it tonight?
Yeah, I honestly, I don't have any more to add. One thing I try not to do, like I gave my views how I wasn't expecting certainly Alicia to be here tonight, and you know,
Surprise.
and you know, I think I gave my 2 cents as best I could, but I don't believe in belaboring or just ongoing with stuff. She's had a lot of input tonight. Certainly a lot to process and think about. I'm not a guy who just likes to just keep talking and talking. Because a lot of times, especially if I'm in a certain situation, whatnot, if I got to deal with something, then sometimes I'm like, shut up, don't talk to me. You know, I got to work some stuff. I got to work some stuff out. So I don't want to like belabor the point or talk on things, especially when I don't necessarily have all the factors of the information that's there. I could be making assumptions about, oh, well, you think of this, this, and this. And she may come back and say these things like, oh, well, then don't forget about what I said. So again, unless I knew more intimately, you know, her situation and whatnot, again, I don't want to just be just throwing stuff from the rafters in terms of
From
advice
the
or
hip, in other
anything
words.
like that. But I just want her to know that again, so we're praying for you, praying for your healing, but ultimately praying for your peace in the situation, that you could be at peace. You know, your son will be taken care of regardless of what happens. Again, we're praying that it's you that, you know, his ultimate, his primary guardian, and that you could be there for him, and that you know, that he will be, you know, taken care of, and trust and believe that God will do those things for you. So I just lift that up, and then I'll just leave the rest. You know, I don't think I need to speak any further on that, but I appreciate you being so transparent, Alicia, and sharing your journey and the struggle that you're going through. And hopefully, if anything, you know, people, all of us go through something, and you know, certainly we need to understand that it's an individual fight, but we can take encouragement that, you know, nobody has it easy, and you know, yeah, I think
Coach,
that's,
you want to go
that's all
next?
I'm saying.
Coach? He might have stepped away from his computer.
Maybe.
This is a. I didn't expect this conversation to go south like it did.
It didn't go south. It went north.
Okay, it went south and north. Um, it just some conversations go a different way. Before we go, Elise, do you have any final thoughts you want to share with us?
Just thanking you all, of course, and every day I do reflect back on any advice given to me and inspiration, and I do realize that this is just another battle in life. I've faced other battles before in my life, and it's just another battle to face, and just everyone to know that life can be full of battles, and you can be strong enough to face them. Even on some days where I don't feel like facing them, I'm still facing them. So anyone that has trouble, you can do it. And thank you again, gentlemen.
Well, you should just know, you're always welcome to come up anytime you want. Chop it up with us. Hopefully, next time you come on, it'll be more funner than sadder, if that makes sense. Coach, you want to put your final thoughts really fast?
Yeah, great show, man. Salute to y'all, man. Hey, man, listen, we living, right? So continue to live, man. Miss Elisa, listen, lady, you ain't got, listen, you, the past is what it is. Only thing you can do is just live to be the best. Just live, whatever that is. There's no definition to anything about your life. You just go live purposely. That's all. With everything and everybody around you. You still got life going on around you. You can't give up. You got a son. You can't give up. You still got life. You let it be a surprise is all I'm trying to say. Don't ever see it coming. Go, and when you go talk to him, you know, if it come down to that, but still his mindset, you go when you see him, just talk to him. For real. When you see him, just talk to him. But you still got life now. He's in your son. I'm trying to, I'm just saying, he's in your son. 14, when his birthday?
February.
See what I'm saying? He's a February baby. His birthday same month as mine. What's the date?
25th.
He's a Pisces. Okay. I'm an Aquarius, but they need you. All animals need Aquarius water. Y'all. We trying to, but yeah. Listen, just live life with a purpose. You have all the evidence is revealed. There's nothing for you to fear when it comes to mortal man. There's nothing. Nobody talks stupid to you anymore. Nobody says anything out of pocket ever. You just deal with it with love. Just with life. Just deal with it. However you respond to it. And then you cut that out of your life. If it ain't beneficial to your spirit, But have the family meeting though. Have the family meeting. It'll do wonders for the beyond and everything. Because your baby, you got a baby that can be he can be a strong Mr. Bennett, or he can get caught up in the trap. And I don't play getting caught up in the trap. I wish I knew him though, for real. I wish I knew him. I don't know him, but I wish I did. How tall is he?
He's 5'5".
See what I'm saying? He's 5'5". He probably have a growth spurt, be about 5'8".
Yeah,
He
he's
plays
taller.
sports.
He's taller than me now.
He's played sports.
No,
Everybody's taller than you.
he does arts, like the arts, singing,
Oh,
dance,
so
like
he
singing music. He loves
he
that
know how to
stuff.
do music and all of that.
Yes.
Let him know that's a worldwide talent. Let him know that that's a worldwide talent. He can go sing and dance and do music anywhere around the world. Let him know if hey, listen, if his spirit got to live through, your spirit got to live through him, tell him the world is his. He can't be ashamed of nothing. So I'm sorry. But yeah, salute to you, sister, man. Live on, man. Shit. You still here. I want to see you next week.
Thank you.
Or the week after. Shit. Let it be a surprise.
So
Sorry.
I want to thank everybody who joined the panel, including Alicia and Mariana. It was a breath of fresh air having 2 1 minute for their opinion. Maybe we should make you guys permanent guests on the show. Except that, if you have any other questions for us, please leave it in the comments. As always, please like and subscribe. This was the Spartan Institute Network. I am Ghost of Sparta. He is Coach, Mr. President, our little guest Alicia, and Baby Groot. As always,
Yeah, Paul.
go ahead. You're always gonna be Baby Groot here. As always, stay fresh.
I'm the bear.
safe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.